Philadelphia transgender activist identified as Kendall Stevens is now charged with sexually assaulting two children under the age of 13.
Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's live for us outside police headquarters with the new details we're learning about this, Annie.
Yeah, Gray and Shari, disturbing details. Kendall Stevens was arrested today for the rape of a minor. Sources confirm that she is the same Stevens who is a prominent LGBTQ activist in the city. The state attorney general's office filed charges tonight against 37-year-old Kendall Stevens. The charges include the indecent assault against a person less than 13 years old, rape, unlawful contact with minors, sexual offenses, and endangering the welfare of children, parent or guardian. Stevens came to Action News in August of 2020 after she was attacked in her Point Breeze neighborhood. She says she was targeted by a violent group for being a trans woman.
That's not what the streets are saying. Philadelphia is saying it had nothing to do with this being a trans-identifying male. But the fact of the matter is that this is not the first time that this guy has crossed inappropriate boundaries with children, and the people are not playing about that shit. This was not like a gay bashing or a trans bashing. This is people who knew that this dude was a predator long before this finally blew up, and were holding this clown to account. Half the time that these dudes are crying about, transphobic hate crimes, it's usually to cover up some sort of crime that they did, which sparked a violent reaction. This is a man who has been touching and crossing boundaries with children. People aren't fucking playing with you, sir. Fuck around and find out. This is where those 2 points meet on the graph.
Stevens then became a prominent activist for the LGBTQ community. She urged lawmakers to change Pennsylvania's hate crime statute to include protections for LGBTQ people.
And if it's one thing that trans people want, it's to operate with impunity at all times. That's why they want these anti-hate crime bills, so that anybody who does anything to sort of stand up against them or say no to them or hold them to account for their behavior, because we know that the justice system isn't doing it. So, and I'm sorry, this is what ends up fueling vigilante justice, is when people don't take complaints against these people seriously, okay? When the justice system does not take complaints against the rainbow community seriously, then people take things into their own hands. That's why these so-called trans privilege activists want to advocate for anti-hate crime laws, because that way that any sort of reaction or pushback or even violent reaction to one of these trans-identifying males gets labeled as a special hate crime. This is not a woman. This is not a woman. This is a man, and a very predatorial man who is hiding in plain sight. See, any man who lives as an imposter of a woman as hiding in plain sight from something, that should be your first red flag.
She is seen here in March of 2021 at a press conference launching District Attorney Larry Krasner's LGBTQ Plus Advisory Board. The board was created in part to be a source of information and resources for victims and survivors of crime within the community.
It means to me that the transgender population will finally get the support that we need from city officials that we really haven't gotten historically.
Okay, irrelevant, but this dude is 37. I'm 35. This man is 2 years older than me. I have 4 children. I had cancer. So, I should be the one who looks old and, fucked up. Bro, huh?
Sources tell Action News the charges are in relation to the rape of 2 young boys under the age of 13. Stevens remains in custody tonight. A spokesperson for the district attorney's office said in a statement, the investigation of allegations against her is being led by another agency, and as such, we have no comment.
This is a homosexual, transsexual. Everybody who operates under the weird presumption that somehow homosexual, transsexuals are not as prone to male patterns of violence, it's delusional. If a man is living a lie as his day-to-day existence, That right there is already a red flag for being dangerous. Just because a man is gay doesn't mean he's somehow like not prone to male violence, typical male patterns of violence. Okay? This is a gay man who raped 2 little boys. Also, anybody who's in the Philadelphia area, like, who wants to turn up with me? And to all of the women in No Gun Zone who are caping for this degenerate and being like, oh, this, just because this is happening does not call for all the transphobia. Bro, first of all, okay? This is par for the course with these people. Have you not figured it out yet? This is who they are. These are predators who go through these elaborate schemes to alter and conceal their true identity so that they can operate the way that they want to. This is cuddle fishing. This is like advanced gaslighting. No, there's no such thing as trans, point blank, period.
The giant cuttlefish. They have one last act to complete, to find a mate. But there are over 100,000 males competing for the arriving females in this one bay. Among them, a giant, a true Goliath. He probably weighs about 10 kilos. Bands of color sweep across his skin. That's how cuttlefish communicate. This smaller male couldn't possibly take him on. Beside Goliath, and under his protection, a female who has just mated with him. But other rivals are still interested. It seems a small male wouldn't stand a chance. The female is now displaying a white stripe along her side nearest Goliath. It's a clear signal that she no longer wants to mate with him. It's all the encouragement that the little male needs. He's going to have to use trickery. He tones down his colors and tucks in his arms. He's just the right size to mimic a female. Goliath is deceived.
Not unlike the trickery used by the trans woman to let down parents' guards so that he can get around safeguarding boundaries so he can access children. Let's find out more about the cuttlefish strategy.
The small male now displays a white stripe, just like the real female, to deter his advances. He slips beside her, and they mate. The sneaky male leaves, his final act complete.
Any male who claims a trans identity should be looked at with extreme skepticism. Any man who engages in this level of deception and gaslighting who lives as role play should be seen as a massive walking red flag. And every day, it's proven. Every day, they reveal themselves. No. Rip the mask off. Put the boundaries down. I would never. I was thinking about it. If my kids had a teacher that was trans, there's no chance I would sit by and allow my kids to be in that class. No possible way. You cannot teach my children if you are an abject liar and a deceiver, and if you were a fraud and a fake, and if you go through such elaborate lengths to deceive people, elaborate lengths to uphold a lie and delusion. Oh, hell no. Red flag alert. I would yank my kids out of school if need be.